Back to the City of Johannesburg now. It has until the end of this month to deal with corruption allegations within its ranks. SAMWU gave the city a deadline yesterday, or day before yesterday, after it said it had found the millions of rands in ratepayers' money had been used unduly. SAMWU was also says rather a state of decay, rot and corruption are prevalent at the city's Department of Human Settlements and Johannesburg Social Housing Company. Let's now speak to the union's Gauteng Provincial Treasurer, Karabo Ramahuma. Thank you very much, Karabo, for your time here on eNCA. Just give us more details about this corruption that you're levelling against the City of Johannesburg and the kind of evidence that you have.
Thank you very much, and thank you to listeners of eNCA. Part and most of this corruption that we speak about mainly it's known to the city. It's issues that have been raised. I'll give you an example. Let's start at Joshko, for instance, Johannesburg Social Housing. It would have occurred that in the previous financial year, I think of 2021, that the AG then made worrying findings about one, management of contracts at Joshko, but two, the manner in which they are awarding them. Then the then MMC of Housing, Councillor Mabaso, wrote a letter which was addressed to the board chair, raising the same issues to say, can they come with a plan to address the issues that are flagged by the AG. Subsequent to that letter, that after being communicated to the CEO, the acting CEO then of Joshko, and went straight to those things. The first thing that I'm sure he picked up would have been that the current COO and the current CFO would have then given themselves powers that the law does not accord them. They would have signed first issues outside their scope. In terms of the law, there are limits what a CFO can sign for and what.
I don't know if you can still hear us, Karabo. You were just still explaining. So your allegations go all the way to the office of the CFO?
CFO, COO of Joshko, Executive Director of Housing. So those are the, and remember, we must also be, we must explain to listeners why this corruption has been able to happen, and while it's been happening, it went unabated. The ED, Executive Director of Housing, not only is he the Executive Director, he is also a chairperson of a committee that the City of Johannesburg call it Executive Adjudication Committee. It deals with all the city's tenders. So this person, other than doing this shenanigans of his at housing, he's also the chairperson and presides over all tenders of City of Johannesburg. So you then begin to ask yourself, how can this person become so untouchable? But then you realize the critical role that he plays in terms of delivering those who are enriching them with the pets. And, just so we put these things into perspective. Now, the other thing that is really an anomaly at Joshko, you have a situation where payments to contracts are made, signed by both CFO and COO without the CEO signing, and you have those contracts having worked without the service level agreements being signed. They are only signed after work was completed. That's why we find ourselves in a mess that we do like that. Yesterday I was at Alexander, I passed Alexander, who were attending a memorial service of a comrade, but it remains a pain to know how many millions were spent in those TRUs that remain unoccupied, that are incomplete. And one thing that we did not highlight, that we must also highlight, those TRUs as they lie there, before you have a development, you must have a bulk infrastructure development, like your bulk sewer, your water.
So what kind of evidence do you have that all of this didn't happen?
Come again?
So what evidence do you have that you might be able to share that shows that none of this happened? For instance, you're talking about, service providers going ahead with work without signing a service level agreement.
Yes, no, we do. It's just that the arrangement of today was hasty, perhaps from your. We have those documents with us, and we are willing to share. We've shared with the city. We've shared with the city two dossiers: one that relates to City of Johannesburg, social housing, Joshko, and one that relates to housing. And we have even attached reports that have found that corrupt people must be disciplined. Let me give you an example. The executive director of Joshko, there is a misled council to sell council land at a value that is not correct. But in another instance, he sold council land without council approval. That's the biggest transgression. He has actually lied to all 270 councillors of City of Johannesburg. So together with all of them combined, we want to check, you see, because the executive director is a section 56. So it's council that must discipline. We have also dispatched a copy of that to the office of the speaker to say, as the custodian of council, here's one of your employee. He's squandering city's monies. He's selling city's land without your permission. But the most bizarre thing that this Poppy guy did, the city was about to sell a land that was not serviced, but because he's got other additional benefits, he delayed the process, then rezoned that piece of land. After rezoning it, serviced it, and then said, no, we can then buy this piece of land as the city, because now it has got more value. And we all know what while now we may not show on paper, but we will all wonder why would a city official create an environment and a platform where the city actually pays more than what they were supposed to be paying. You go to Moffat View, there was supposed to have been a development there. We know that what is this blackhead guy.
Yeah, but we get the picture. So you say that you have all this evidence to show that none of the things that were done by many people in council were done properly, things like signing service level agreements or selling council land without actually consulting with council. Thank you very much for your time. SAMWU Gauteng Provincial Treasurer Karabo Ramahuma speaking to us there. We'll try and get a response from the different parties that Karabo has mentioned in the allegations that have been leveled by SAMWU on councillors rather at the City of Johannesburg. Do stay tuned for that.